So y'all ready for part three? Cause like, here's part three. All right, so here's part three, where I'm now gonna talk about how I do hair and then like how I do highlights and stuff. So now you can see my background, which is just my living room because it got really, really dark. Anyway, not that you're gonna be paying much attention to that, but it's there. Okay, so I pretty much always shade hair this way. Um, so what I do is I get my airbrush because it's, lighter and has kind of like a hair-like texture to it. Um, and even if yours doesn't, it works really well because it, pardon me, I'm so sorry, has has like a lighter quality to it, I guess. Anyway, so I, darken in the spot where the hair flips up, almost completely dark because uh, it's completely in shadow. So what I do is to get a hair-like texture, I take my dark color and I just kind of drag upward to shade from the bottom up because, most. I'm so eloquent today. Most of the way hair is shaded, um, it like curls underneath, and you only really get this like a band of highlight. So that's kind of, what I want to emulate here, where there's really only that like centermost part where the light on the hair is reflecting. So, you know, you just feel around it. I'm noticing that this brush is a little hard. I might soften it out. I like this to kind of be feathery and not very obvious. Yeah, it's a little too obvious. So I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat and just pretend I didn't do any of that because I don't like the way the airbrush is working. So let's see if that makes it any better. Okay, yeah, that makes it a lot better in my opinion. Okay. Okay, so with the shadow kind of laid in right there like that, what I then do is I take the base color and I just kind of smooth the transitions out a little bit using the same brush. And it's just kind of a lot of push and pull because you don't want it to look too choppy, but you don't want it, well, I don't know. For my style, I don't want it to look too choppy or too realistic or too weird. So I just kind of do this back and forth for a little while with the shade color and the base color, just until I get the amount of shading that I'm trying to achieve. You know, and with that shade color, I like to make sections, like chunks of hair kind of sections, you know, to give it that hint of realism, even though my style is obviously not the most realistic at all. All right, and then once you find a spot where you're okay with the um, shading and the way the base color looks, I tend to add slightly darker shading as well, just to push the values, um, to like push pieces of hair back further. Like, pardon me, like that one I want to be really far back, or like really exaggerate some of those shadows. And then after this is when I do the highlights. And so I'll talk a little bit about how I select the highlight color while I'm doing this, doing the darker shadows. So how I select a highlight color is I usually have specific colors that I use for each hair color that I like to draw. I like to use red tones for like browns, especially because I use a lot of warm toned browns when I do brown hair in drawings. But for green, I tend to like to use like a nice bright yellow. Does the green hair that I have um, actually shine like a bright yellow? No, but this is a drawing, and my mohawk mullet is not really that long either. But in art, it can be, 'cause why not? No one's stopping you. You can make yourself whatever you want to be. God, I sound like Bob Ross. Sorry about that, y'all. But I mean, like, also, it's true. So, okay. So I like to do like a really pale yellow for the highlight for the hair. So again, just whew, that's right. That's the difference. Okay. So I like to do it on a different layer. I had forgotten. It's been a while. And I like to do it with the screen setting because, oh boy, it can be very bright. And the screen kind of makes it a little bit more translucent. So I just kind of, get your anime hair lights on here. And again, this is just how I do it. Um, Obviously, everybody does their stuff differently. You know, you don't have to do it like this. And then I uh, take the opacity down a little bit. Perfect. All right. So that's how I highlight hair. And now I'm just going to do a quick finish of this drawing. So any little details that I didn't do previously. And most of that is just like finishing up the eyes because I like to do goofy details in the eyes. So um, I'll see you when that's done. All right, and now I'm just gonna sign it and be done. All right, so that's that. Thanks for watching.